Okay, so here's a quick tutorial on how to get started with using RazKids. You're going to go to RazKids.com, or you can even go through your Reading A to Z account. So you can go either way. If I went to Reading A to Z, it would bring me here. I can always click on the tab on the top to go to RazKids. So if I did that and it brought me to like a student login page, you can just click on teacher and then type in your information from here. Hold on, I just had to find my password. So when I log in, this is what you would see. If you were on Reading A to Z, you could just tab over to RazKids. It's the same company, so they use the same username and password for you. So the first thing you want to do is set up your class. You want to go to Manage Students. Right now there's 2 students on the list, but you can add more by pressing this Add Students. So it tells me I have 34 spaces available. So I would just click in the first name and type in the student's first name, and then type in the student's last name. Oops. Just going to put that in the last name box. And then you want to choose a level for them. So if you remember in Reading A to Z, their correlation is off from Fountas and Pinnell, which is the leveling system that we use. So you want to make sure you know that you're assigning them the right letter, because L in Reading A to Z isn't really an L on your leveling Fountas and Pinnell system. So what I just did was I clicked on this little question mark, and it gives me a complete correlation chart. And when I click on that, I can get the whole chart in a printable form. So I might print this out if you don't have it already, just so I know these are the Learning A to Z letters. And Fountas and Pinnell, this column here, are the letters that we are used to using. So some of them do correlate, but when you get down to the bottom, if you're reading on a Q, it could be a U or a V in RazKids. So you want to make sure you're giving them the right level to work on. So I would print this out, figure out all my students' levels, correlate them, and then put them into the system. So now let's try and get back to where we were. So I was putting this student in. She reads in my class. Let's just say she reads at, I'm just going to check this again. She reads at an L. So in Fountas and Pinnell, that's really a K. So I want to make sure that I know what's really an L in Fountas and Pinnell. So an M in this system is a Fountas and Pinnell L. So I'm going to assign her an M. And then I would go to my next student, and I would put them in. And I would say, okay, he's actually reading at a J. And then you can go to the next student. As you keep typing, more boxes will open up. You have a total of 36 students that you can add, so that should be plenty for any class at the elementary level. Now you have some other choices for your students. Do you want to give them the book room? Now if you only give them self-paced assignment, that means they have to stay within that assignment level, and they can't read books above or below their level. If you leave the book room on, let's click on this question mark. It's going to give students access to books for free choice reading. So that means they can go a few levels below their assignment level. And then, so I tend to turn this off in the beginning just so I can keep them on the level they should be on, and then I can edit that later. You can always turn it back on. So I'm going to turn it off for now. And then you have incentives. Do you want to give them incentives? Incentives mean they earn stars, and then they can build a robot or a rocket room, and that's kind of motivation. So I will show you that. I would leave that on, but maybe monitor how often they're going in there. So say maybe only on Mondays you can go into the rocket room, because otherwise sometimes students will like spend all their time in the robot builder instead of reading the books. And I would suggest giving everyone a password. So I would click on the plus sign. You could give a text password, the same password they use for Moodle, or you can give them one or two red icons below. So maybe I would give this student, because I know she might have trouble remembering this, I might just give her one icon. Then the next student, I might give two, because I'm like, oh, he can remember two pictures. And then when you're all done, you could just press save. Now these two students are in the system. I'm going to show you what it looks like from a student standpoint, so I'm just going to sign out of my teacher account. When the students go to this URL, it's going to bring them here. Their teacher is Mary Taylor. If this is not your class, you can click on here and choose another teacher that has logged in, or you can type in the teacher name and it will bring you to this dashboard. So the student can click on their name. It's going to ask them for their password. And they click on it and then they press go, and it will bring them into the Raz-Kids site for them. So this is Sean Baker's account. I put him at a level L, and you could see he's made a little bit of progress. The more he reads, it will continue to grow the bar until he gets to the end. And it tells you up here he has 45 tasks left at this level. So that's how many books he has to read. Anything in the blue planet is your assignment. So you would click on here, and you're going to see all books at the level L to M level. So he can read any one of these. Now, if you notice, there was another yellow planet that says on your own book room, because for this student, I left the book room on just to show you. I told you to leave it off, but I mean, it's your personal choice. If you leave this on, you're going to see both of these, and you just click on the book room, and then he has access to read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels below his assigned level for free choice. So he can go all the way down to a G and read any of these books. So it's really up to you. Do you want them to stay on that one level, or do you want to give them flexibility for other levels? Totally up to you. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back into your assignment. And so far he has read one book, because you'll see a green check underneath. You can listen to a story by clicking on the ear, read a story by clicking on the eye, or take the quiz by pressing the question mark. If you listen to the story, you earn 10 stars. If you read the story, you earn 50 stars. And if you take the quiz, if you do poorly, you get nothing. If you do well, you get 100 stars. And if you do perfect, you get 150 stars. So I'm going to just go into this book and click listen on. So I'm going to listen to the book. The person will read it to me. And it just starts and it reads. You can pause. You could go next. The only thing is that even though you're listening to it, you could kind of skip over the pages. And let me show you something. I'm just skipping over it, not giving them a chance to actually listen to it. And then I'm going to say take the quiz. It's going to let me take the quiz, even though I didn't even listen to it.
Incorrect.
And it tells me if I'm correct or not.
No. Absolutely correct.
I'm not even reading this right now. I'm just
Maybe
guessing.
next time. Right answer.
There should be 10
That's the
questions.
right answer.
I'm getting lucky answering some.
That's not right. Wrong answer. Incorrect. No.
And don't kid yourself. Students do this, right? Everyone has them again. So you have the chance of going home or reading it again. It says read the book again, be a thoughtful reader, and think about what the words say. Then take the quiz again. So I'm pretty sure right now I'm not going to have any stars for that. For some reason when I press home, it makes me go back in. It kind of drives me mad, but I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. So you'll see that they do think I listened to it, and I got 10 extra stars for that, even though I didn't really listen to it. And then I didn't get anything for the quiz because I did poorly on it. So they want me to read it again. So it does monitor them a little bit, but between the listening and reading of the story, they can flip through. That mostly comes through on the the question, the quiz. If you notice when you listen to it, they don't really give you the option of going back into the book in case you needed help with the answer. But I read this book, if you go into the quiz and you need help on this question, you can click on the I and you could go back to the book to read and find the answer and then press return to quiz. So that might be helpful. Okay, so now if you're back here and you have 60 stars, you can go into the Robot Builder or the Raz Rocket. So you say I go into Robot Builder. I can use my stars to buy different, I don't know, heads for him, or different masks, eyes, different hands. Everything has a star value, so you need to earn enough stars to get what you want. You can also go into the Rocket Room or the Raz Rocket and decorate this room. By clicking on the stars, you can choose if you want to put aliens in, furniture, plants, robots. If I click on aliens, it will tell me how much they're worth, and some of them are really expensive, so they have to work hard to get those aliens. Now I'm going to show you back from the teacher side how to look at what they're doing. Okay, so now I'm logged back in as the teacher account. To monitor what the students are doing, I can click on monitor or just manage students. It's going to bring me to my roster. If I hover my mouse on it, it's going to bring me right to, you could go right to reports if you want. If you click on reports, there are 4 different types of reports. So by default, it will put you on activity report. You could see he's logged in, 1 time, or he has 6 logins. His login time has been 7 minutes. He's earned 60 stars. It's just a basic breakdown of what they did. You can also look at your class ranking. How many stories have they read? How many have they listened to? How many quizzes have they completed? And how many stars have they earned? Recordings, that's like a later training if you want to do running records by recording them. That would be later. But if you want to drill down and see what he's doing, you can click on Sean's name. You could bring right to him and see what he's listened to, what he has read. You can see a score if he completed the account. And then even if you were to click on that book, it would bring you to the book, and you can use it as a resource with the whole class if you wanted to. You could print it out and use it with him and said, oh, you had some trouble with this. Let's read it together and answer the quiz together. Now, the other thing that you can do is go into assignments, and you can actually assign him a specific assignment, and he would have to complete that. I think that's like the next level of training. So for now, I just wanted to show you how to put your students in. Go to add students, right? You want to put their name in, give them a level. It's your choice. I tend to turn the book room off, especially when they're first starting to get to know the program, so they stay in one area. And I would suggest giving a password. When you're all done with this, what you can do is go to your roster. I just hover my mouse on Manage Students and go to Roster. And when I'm on my whole roster, you're going to notice these send home information. You can click on send home information, and you can click out personalized student login cards or letters to the parents. And the letter to the parents would be individualized with their username and password and how to get on the site. And you can print those out. Any other information you might want to learn on your own, you can go to the teacher corner and go to the video library, and they have a few like how to get started videos, how to do certain things, an overview, how to add a student, how to use the reports. So there are tons of videos inside the system for training. There will be PD that will be after school, or just contact me if you need any help. Okay? Thank you. I hope this was helpful to get you started.